everyone, and welcome to another reading lesson. We have been reading the text The Year at Maple Hill Farm. We have learned about the winter. We have learned about the spring. We've learned about the summer, and today we're going to be learning about the final season in the text. Before we do that, we are going to be exploring the weather during this season too. So your teacher's going to pause the video and you guys are going to talk about what are some types of weather where we live. Where we live, we get all types of different weather because we get to see all 4 seasons. And right now, the weather that we're seeing is snow. It's cold, sometimes it rains, and that's the type of weather we see right now. In an earlier lesson, we practiced retelling key details in The Year at Maple Hill Farm. And today we're going to practice again using The Year at Maple Hill Farm so that we can better understand a new section of the text, which is all about the season autumn, also known as fall. Remember, to use your own words when you retell a text. And if the text is given information in a certain order, your retelling should match this order. And this text does an order of the season. So here we go. Our reading thinking job today is I can retell key details of a text. We're going to do that by 1, talking about what the text is mostly about. Step 2, what details help us understand the most. And then step 3, we're going to retell that story in our own words. Key details are important parts of the story. Who's the story mostly about? What's the story mostly about? Where and when is it taking place? And what is happening in the story at the beginning, the middle, and the end? So let's refresh our minds one last time what The Year at Maple Hill Farm is mostly about. Your teacher is going to pause the video. So we know this text is mostly about a year on the farm. We learn about the 12 months of the year, and we learn about the 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And today, we're going to focus on autumn. Now that we've refreshed our memory about what the text is mostly about, let's dive into some pages of this text. Read these pages for you, and then you are going to talk about the weather on these pages that helps us know what month it's in. Then sometimes quite suddenly, a fresh wind blows. The summer is over, the days are shorter, September is here. Everyone begins to wake up after the heat of summer. The evenings are pleasant in September, and the horses are lively. They are brought in from the field to the shed. The horses aren't afraid of the blacksmith. They are used to him. They don't mind having their shoes nailed on. It doesn't hurt. Now the days are cooler and make sense of change is in the air. September is the first month of autumn. Autumn is a fine time for riding, even if it's raining. Most animals don't mind raindrops, but the big bay horse is ticklish and doesn't want to leave his stall. Animals can be very temperamental. Your teacher's going to pause the video and talk about what detail in the setting on this page helps us know it's September. I know when I listened to the words, I heard fresh wind blows and cooler. So the part of the setting we can talk about right now is the weather. The weather is cool and the wind is blowing. When I look at the illustrations, I see light in the background, and that tells me it's the time of day. So the setting is it's cool, the wind is blowing, and it's the daytime. What happens to the horses in the autumn? Go ahead and talk about it. I noticed the words and in the pictures tell about how the horses get shoes and people ride them. The details on these pages help me better understand that in the autumn time, the horses get shoes put on and people ride them. We've gone through September, October, and November and learned about what happens with the farm animals during these months, and also looking at some weather that happens during August, autumn. Your teacher's going to pause the video and you guys are going to retell the major events, the key details. So what important details help us understand autumn in Maple Hill Farm? Go ahead and retell it in your own words. When I think back to the important details to help me understand autumn in Maple Hill Farm, I think first about horses getting shoes. That's the first detail we learned. Then we learned about all of the animals receiving medicine. We also learned about the wild birds flocking and flying together and going down south, migrating. And then at the end, we learned that some animals leave the farm, whether they're being borrowed or they're being sold. Today in Seesaw, you are going to be able to listen to all of the pages again and then answer the question, which detail should come first in a retell of these pages? Until next time, bye Kipsters.